It's really, testament to Larry, testament to OpenAI and to American AI just going straight to the moon.
Welcome to the Vibe Flow with Jordan and Will. Let's go. Tech news and AI trends. Tune in now with your friends.
Hey, Will, you sound a little husky.
Happy Vibe Flow.
Happy Vibe Flow.
A little traveling, I think, has caught up with a few of us. What do you think?
Yeah, we both sound a little off with our voices. Will just said he sounds husky. I think he means raspy, but he said husky. What is husky a British word?
I don't know. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's do it. Before we do it, Will, do you see anything else new behind me?
You're gonna ask me every time. I see a lafufu, and what is that next to the lafufu, John?
A Labubu. We had an all hands today, and I unboxed my new Labubu. Very excited. Got the love.
Do you know
Labubu.
how rare this one is? It looks pretty rare to me, not gonna lie.
I think it's not rare because it just comes up as like that one. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know anything about them. They're just fun. Anyway, before we get into a little bit of our docket here, going on the all hands path, I want to just show a few demos. Just dive right into a few demos. First off, we've had some trouble with our all hands lately because one of our favorite softwares, Glow, shut down a couple months ago, and we used them for our all-hand software. We thought it was the best. And now we're stuck with just boring Zooms. So today, or recently, Replit came out with, what is it?
It's today.
3X?
Agent 3.
Agent 3. Okay, Agent 3. And I thought I'd give it a go and see how well it made me a app that we can use to replace our all hands. So first off, I'll just share this screen. This was their little promo video, and it's pretty incredible. It's like ultra autonomous. So Agent 3 is basically, the new thing with it is it's going to continuously run itself until it thinks it's finished, which is not too dissimilar to what it was doing before. It's not too dissimilar to V0 and Lovable, but it's taking it to another level where it's really, really, really trying to run and verify itself. It writes its own tests, and that's one thing I really want to show you. It's super cool. And so I thought I'd take it for a spin. So I'm going to show you here. This is my app. I'm not going to lie, the app did not turn out great, but that's okay. There's a few things I want to really dive into and show you. Some new really cool advancements that I've seen. So I will say I've kind of zero shotted this. I did not spend much time on it. It looks decent. It has some interesting functionality with like building the slides and everything. I can't confirm or deny if it actually allows you to have video and audio streaming. It doesn't work within this, but it could be because I haven't deployed it, whatever. But here's what I want to show you. I started out with a couple, some previous prompts. This is literally all I gave it. To start with, can you make me an app to host our virtual all hands, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It did an okay job, but here's where I thought it got really interesting is when it started to write tests for itself. And so if I watch this replay, you can see here, it's literally using the app. So cool. This is a very cool feature I have not seen yet. So it's literally using the app. I actually told it a couple things that I thought were incorrect, and it rewrote the tests and then got them to pass. I got them to realize that there were some features that were not visible on the screen. So huge advancement. This is not something I've seen before. What would typically happen is it would think it was complete. I would actually go and do my own actual tests. Like I'd go and click a couple buttons and be like, oh, it doesn't work.
Can you see the homepage? And you're like, no, it hasn't loaded. And it's like,
exactly.
I see the problem.
Yes. So this is really cool. It took 20 minutes or so to actually build the first app, the first version. And then the subsequent requests I made took between 3 and 20 minutes. So it's a much different experience than like a V0 lovable, typical, Replit as well, like typical experience, because you're not going back and forth quickly. It's very much set it and forget it. And because of that, they actually made a mobile app so it can tell you when it's done. So you give it a couple instructions, you go have lunch, tells you when it's done. So anyway, pretty cool, pretty interesting. I thought it was a good advancement. I thought I'd share. Okay. But wait, there's one more thing. So now I have this sweet app. I need to promote it. I need to make a video for it, right? I need to make a promo video. So I found another new app, Cursor for video editing. Pretty interesting. Here we go. Tellers AI. I gave it a single prompt up here. I mean, again, the UI of all these things are all identical, right? Everything has a chat. The chat interacts directly with the content you're creating or editing. We see where the world is headed, and I love it. Okay, so I just said a funny prompt video from a new app, blah, blah, blah. I told it to use stock footage because I didn't have a lot of time, and I also didn't pay for a lot of credits, more credits if you wanted to make its own video. So this is not the best it can do, I imagine, but it does go through and give you like, it finds a bunch of stock footage and makes like a voiceover script, has a little timeline for you. Awesome. I approved it. And then here we go. We'll watch a couple
Tired
seconds.
of meetings that feel like this? Stuck in the same old gridlock, where half your team is business up top, pajamas down below, and the guest list is unexpected. No one knows who's talking. No one knows why they're here. Meet SyncAll, the virtual all hands that actually works. Real sync, real laughs, real results. Finally, an all hands worth attending. Try SyncAll, meetings, but better.
Okay.
Really interesting ending there.
A little different stock footage than maybe if it was able to go and make its own footage, it might have been a bit more relevant. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought I'd just give it a little test. I did have to pay $9 for it, but worth it, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
So I think,
I'll play around with it.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think to go back to Replit, though, we've covered Replit a couple times. They're now absolutely crushing it from the revenue perspective. All of this has been since they launched their agent product. And so this is now Agent 3. They had an Agent 2 in there. They launched Agent 1, I think, about a year ago. As a business, I've enjoyed it because I could like simply build websites. So my very first example of this is I was building like a homepage for myself, and this is a couple of years ago now. I was using ChatGPT and one of the very early versions of it to come spit out HTML, a bit of JavaScript and CSS code, and then I would go and use Replit to go and create that for me, and it would like more or less work. I'd have to go back and forth a little bit and say this didn't quite work, this didn't quite work. Since then, you've had that in this vibe coding now box for a while, and so Replit already had kind of like the infrastructure to do that. A lot of developers were using it to host to easily install a framework and to then quickly spin up websites or whatever it is. Their agent product really has superpowered not only their business, but just this whole vibe coding autonomous software industry like rapidly forward. And so yes, there's been some really great companies that have come out of this version of software development. I actually think Replit has been at the forefront for a good amount of time, and it's great to see them pushing the boundaries yet again. And in that video, in the introduction video, he was talking about how they went from 2 minutes of autonomous work to 20 minutes of autonomous work in Agent 2 to 200 minutes of autonomous work in Agent 3, which is exactly what you're talking about. It does go away and think about things for a while. It's not just doing like spending reasoning tokens, thinking about like how it should look, although it's doing a lot of that, but it's spilling up, many versions of this agent that's going to go and do a bunch of stuff. And so they've built out the testing that it can go and do, which I think is super cool. So it can do autonomous tests, it can do everything. And so a lot of like the pain that developers have, and especially vibe code developers, because they don't fully understand what's being written, is like it just doesn't work. And so how do you solve for that in an autonomous way? And this really, I think, is giving us kind of the snippet of what a full autonomous software development cycle could look like, where you aren't expecting it to just take 30 seconds and you to check in on it, because there's only so much software someone can write in 30 seconds, right? And so like you should have it go away for hours or weeks. It could go away for a week and then come back with an complete replica of Salesforce. Whereas like the first version of vibe coding couldn't do that. It didn't have a long enough time horizon, but now we can see a path to how it can get there, which I think is awesome. I think it's super exciting. I think we'll see it in V0 and Lovable and everyone else very soon. But it's great to see them pushing the frontier.
I agree. Quick add on to that. It's all pro. I think everything we're doing in this space, I think it's all moving forward. I do see some pros and cons with this approach. Obviously, if something were to go wrong, if you're looking at a complete path of 200 minutes of work, if something were to go wrong in the middle of that, that second 100 minutes of work might be all wrong, right? So I think I think they've figured out that the system is right more than it's wrong now. And so they're taking that risk and they're making it way more autonomous and allowing that feedback to come in over and over, expecting it to most likely be correct. But you will, with this approach, absolutely see some times when it just goes down some wild path for hours and, eats up all your credit.
I think we already spoke about it here, last month maybe, where it deleted someone's entire database. So it might do that 100 minutes in and then realize, 100 minutes later. So they're building out what that sort of should look like. What's the infrastructure? What's the forks? What's the way of reverting this back? Yeah, ultimately, if you're spending tokens for 100 minutes on completely the wrong path, and theoretically, like, maybe the consumer doesn't pay for that part, right?
Yeah.
And so we're still very early with it, but very excited for where it's headed. I think this is more, do you think this is more of where we're going with it? It's kind of like Devon as well, that you aren't, if you're trying to imagine a world where you're orchestrating 10 different software agents all going and doing things, you can't look at your screen and watch 10 different agents doing things, right? Like, that's how vibe coding is today. You've got to trust them. You've got to let them go off and do things. And some of those things are going to take a long period of time. And so it is about, like, how does the orchestration, logging, oversight kind of work? And then ultimately, like, PR review, and then moving forward to deployment. How does that all work in this new era? Do you have any thoughts? It sounds like you'd be a bit worried right now letting this thing rip for 200 minutes without you
I wouldn't.
watching it.
So I think in this scenario, I think it's great. In an enterprise application, you're not using Replit to spin up real crazy things. There's a lot of startups that are working out of Replit, succeeding, profiting, awesome. I totally agree. I think you can't just sit there and monitor 20 different agents doing a bunch of different things. As the agent manager, which would be like the IC running the show of all of the agents, I think we will start to trust them more and more and allow them to go down these 200-minute paths that just do a bunch of crazy stuff. I think most engineers that are highly experimental with all of the agents now are trying to figure out, what is the flow for me? How does it work? How many tickets, how many features can I work on at the exact same time? Because I'm not actually writing code anymore. I'm just writing prompts and letting the things run. Then maybe I'll switch over to this feature, work on it while my agent is running. So you're trying to figure out what's the right flow, and nobody really knows yet. I think once you can get to a place where you trust a 100, 200 minute agent, it's going to be really nice, because you kind of want a little bit more time to go focus on the next prompt and not context switch back and forth every 5 minutes. But it would only work if these things are highly accurate. But yeah, I do think it's going the right direction. To your other question about the reviews, right? There's been Greptile, we know the Greptile team, they're awesome. They actually just came out with, I think they call it their V3 as well, coincidentally. I was gonna dive in a little bit more into that. It hasn't actually come out yet, but they were talking about it. They're very all in on the idea that you are either really good at writing or really good at reviewing. I think we've talked about this before, and so I do agree. I think that is a valid approach. I just wonder how that fits into the Replits of the world, that fits into the Cursors of the world. Right now, it fits into GitHub, and so the flow is do everything in Cursor, push it up to GitHub, and then within GitHub, you do the reviews. Why doesn't that just all happen within the same flow that before you even put it up into GitHub? Anyway, going way too down a rabbit hole. Let's switch topics to a company I don't think we've ever said the name of this company in this podcast, and that is Oracle. Will, do you know what Oracle is?
They're one of the OG software companies, right? Databases.
They're massive. And the team at OpenAI, which we obviously have talked about at least 50% of every single episode of this podcast, has done a $300 billion deal. $300 billion bazillion dollar deal, which is insane. It's way more than all of their revenue, obviously. It's just a massive deal. And on this note, I think Oracle went up 45% today. Was that the number?
Yeah.
making
So
Larry Ellison the richest man in the world.
yeah, so a lot just happened in that one sentence. Yeah, the so Oracle is a public software company, so it's publicly traded. They put out their earnings every quarter, like every other publicly traded company, and they had a huge beat, as I think most sort of cloud infrastructure computing services companies have, whether it's AWS, whether it's Google's or Microsoft's. Like everyone's posting beats. Oracle, I think we might have mentioned them once because they bidded for TikTok, and so maybe they were going to host TikTok on Oracle servers. Then now what they're doing is they're signing this big 5-year contract with OpenAI to host OpenAI on their servers. So it's a huge boon for this company that's already big, but you'd probably consider somewhat behind the leaders like AWS on actually being a server for software companies. So this is a huge boon for them. The announcement that sent the stock soaring was that they revealed they added 317 billion in future contract revenue this quarter, of which 300 of it was one single contract. So they added a bit more as well, but this was like absolutely blew any analyst out of the water, any expectations. And so it's a $600 billion market cap company. It's now nearly $1 trillion. It went up $400 billion. Larry is by far the biggest shareholder. I think he still owns like a quarter of the stocks. His personal wealth went up by 100 billion. That put him, I think, as the world's richest man, past Elon slightly. Really great insane to see a company at such a huge, massive scale, 600 billion, shoot up as dramatically as that. It's clearly showing that the leaders that we currently see in the AI space, OpenAI, are really betting on this product. So it's testament to what Larry Ellison's been able to build, how they've been able to grow into the new AI area. Yeah, it's awesome to see. To your point, I don't think we ever talk about Larry, but he's a G. He's been around in Silicon Valley far longer than most, and it's just another win for him. So really cool. I think they've been around since the 90s, early 90s. And this guy is 81 but looks 50. Totally insane run. And so yeah, congrats to him.
Yeah, pretty incredible. There's not a ton about the deal. Obviously there's headline numbers. How do you assure a $300 billion commitment? Like
I was going to ask you this.
Is that like I don't understand. It's like, okay,
it's over 5 years. So
yeah, but what if you don't? What if you don't actually spend that much? What if you need to back
for hundreds
out?
Of billions? Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Sue for $300 billion? I don't think that's a feasible thing to do.
Yeah. So it's $300 billion over 5 years. I'm sure it's staggered. So actually in the out years, it's probably like 100 billion a year, which is just like truly insane. The growth of OpenAI and the server needs they have will justify this. I think the point of this and like the point of making such a large commitment is because we just don't have the capacity today for like these data centers don't exist. And so like for someone to go and build, I think it's like a 4.5 gigawatt data center or something like that is what was needed. We've already heard that. I think they said that before. So to build that kind of data center, you need these huge commitments in place. And so they've gone to Larry and co. They're showing a commitment. Yeah, questioning of like, well, if it's 300 over 5 years, that's 60 billion a year, probably more money than they like have each year. So like, yeah, how do you even structure this deal? I imagine Oracle can end up with some sweet warrants in OpenAI if things go wrong. But extremely cool to see it. And these are the kind of long-term commitments we need to see if we want to keep being at the forefront of AI. Yep. It's probably going to send all the other stocks up massively as well, because it's a big vote of confidence that these kind of companies are willing to sign such massive deals. So it's going to prop up everyone. NVIDIA is going to be like, well, we need more chips. We need to put those in Oracle's data centers. And then we need more power. And so I think the power equivalent of the 4.5 gigawatt data center is the equivalent of 4 million homes. Just like truly astronomical.
2
in terms
Hoover
of
dams,
size.
I believe that was
absolutely wild how big these things are. So very cool to see. It's really testament to Larry, testament to OpenAI and to American AI just going straight to the moon. It's crazy. That's why we're AI pilled over here.
Love it. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave you on this note. It's a plea. It's a plea note here. So OpenAI, they have denied this, and I just, I want to make a plea for them to please do not leave San Francisco. There are rumors that because of the California political resistance to them moving from a nonprofit to a for-profit, they are potentially leaving California so that they can make that happen. And if that's the case, my neighborhood will not be as nerdy as it is right now. The original office is just a few blocks from my house in the Mission, and they're all still there. I love getting coffee over there.
I was going to say, you really like your hipster coffee, so
love it.
Really, this is what the main plea here is for, I think, is
yes.
you can't let your coffee shops
please, on
also
behalf of me and my Labubus, please do not leave San Francisco. We need you. And on that note, I have to go, Will. I have to go get my haircut in preparation for next week's Vibe Flow.
Perfect. Well, we can't wait to see your hair next week. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Happy Vibe Flow. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone.